Last week, TSA confiscated over 47,000 items from carry-on bags in just 3 days. Not weapons. Not drugs. Everyday items that were perfectly legal last year but are now prohibited in 2026. If you're planning to fly this year, what's in your bag right now could get you delayed, fined, or even flagged for additional screening. These new rules went into effect quietly, and most travelers have no idea they exist. Welcome. The TSA has implemented sweeping changes to carry-on regulations in 2026, and the updates are more restrictive than anything we've seen in the past decade. Some changes are security-related. Others involve technology. And several directly target items that millions of travelers pack without thinking twice. I've analyzed the new TSA guidelines, spoken with security officers, and reviewed enforcement data from the first month of implementation. What I discovered will change how you pack for every flight this year. Stay until the end, because rule number 8 affects something 80% of travelers currently have in their carry-on bag. Let's start with the biggest change that's catching travelers completely off guard. Rule number 1 - lithium battery restrictions just got much stricter. The most significant change in 2026 is how TSA handles lithium batteries and devices containing them. The rules have tightened dramatically, and travelers are being stopped at security checkpoints across the country. Here's what changed. Old rule: power banks and spare lithium batteries under 100 watt-hours were allowed in carry-on with minimal restrictions. New 2026 rule: all spare lithium batteries and power banks must now be placed in a designated clear plastic bag, separate from your other electronics. Each battery must have its capacity clearly labeled, or you must be able to prove its watt-hour rating. Batteries with damaged, swollen, or torn exteriors are now immediately confiscated and reported. The limit has been reduced. Power banks between 100-160 Wh now require visible airline approval stickers. You must get these at check-in. Why the change? There were 28 lithium battery fires on aircraft in 2024 to 2025. The FAA determined that better screening and organization reduces risk. What's catching people? Unlabeled power banks are being confiscated even if they're under the limit. Old power banks without clear watt-hour markings are automatically rejected. Travelers who don't separate their batteries at security face secondary screening and delays. What you must do now: check every power bank and spare battery for visible watt-hour (WH). Labeling: if the label has worn off, use a permanent marker to write the WH rating on the device. Purchase a separate small clear bag just for batteries. Quart-size Ziploc works. At security, place this battery bag in a bin separate from your laptop and liquids. If you have batteries between 100-160 Wh, arrive 30 minutes earlier to get airline approval at check-in. The penalty for non-compliance: batteries are confiscated with no return option. If TSA suspects you're attempting to conceal a dangerous battery, you can be flagged for enhanced screening on future flights. But rule number 2: all electronics larger than a phone must be fully charged. This isn't entirely new, but enforcement has become dramatically stricter in 2026. TSA can now require you to power on any electronic device at the checkpoint. The 2026 enforcement change: previously, TSA randomly selected passengers for device power-on checks. Now it's standard procedure for certain flight routes and can happen to anyone. What triggers mandatory power-on? All international flights departing from U.S. airports. Any device that appears modified or tampered with. Random selection during high-alert security levels. Suspicious behavior or profile flags. If your device won't power on, TSA will not allow it in carry-on or checked luggage. You must either abandon it at the checkpoint or ship it separately at your own expense. You may face additional questioning about why the device is dead. Multiple dead devices can trigger a full bag search and potential law enforcement involvement. Why this matters more now: in late 2025, intelligence agencies discovered that sophisticated explosive devices were being concealed in electronics that appeared functional but had completely gutted interiors. The power-on requirement ensures your laptop is actually a laptop. Real case from January 2026, A business traveler at JFK had 3 devices in his bag: laptop, tablet, and e-reader. All 3 were dead. TSA wouldn't let him board with any of them. He missed his international flight and had to FedEx the devices to his destination. Cost: $380 plus a rebooking fee. What you must do: charge all electronics to at least 30% before arriving at the airport. Bring charging cables in your carry-on to charge devices at the airport if needed. For long travel days, bring a charged power bank, properly labeled per rule number 1. Test that each device actually turns on before leaving for the airport. But electronics aren't the only category with stricter rules. The next change affects something in almost every carry-on bag. Rule number 3: the 311 liquids rule has exceptions now, but they're complicated. The famous 311 rule, 3.4 ounces, 1 quart bag, 1 bag per passenger, is still in effect, but 2026 brought confusing exceptions and stricter enforcement. What's new in 2026? Medication exemptions have specific requirements. Liquid medications over 3.4 ounces are still allowed, but you must now declare them verbally to TSA before screening. Medications must be in pharmacy-labeled containers or accompanied by a prescription document. Over-the-counter liquid medications, like Pepto-Bismol or liquid Tylenol, must still follow the 311 rule. Only prescription medications are exempt. TSA may test liquid medications using special equipment. Refusal to allow testing means the item is confiscated. Baby formula and breast milk exceptions tightened. Still allowed in quantities greater than 3.4 ounces. But you must now travel with the child to use this exception. Parents traveling without their infant cannot bring baby formula through security. Breast milk can be brought by nursing mothers, but TSA may ask for proof, like a doctor's note for pumping mothers who travel for work. New enforcement on gels, creams, and pastes. TSA has expanded what counts as liquids. Items now explicitly classified as liquids include peanut butter and Nutella, even though they're spreads; hummus, guacamole, and salsa. Liquid-filled ice packs must be completely frozen solid. Gel shoe inserts. Thick moisturizing creams and hair styling products. What's catching travelers in 2026? Travelers bringing large tubes of toothpaste, 4 to 6 ounces, are being stopped.